Hey guys, it's Cole from TCG Cardcast, and today I'm here with another episode of TCG's TCG Cardcast. Today I'm here with Arron as usual,
What's up?
and we also today have a very special guest. Today we have Invoked 101 with us. Say hello.
Hey man.
So I figured for today's episode we would kind of take advantage of our special guest here, and we kind of interview him, ask him some questions and stuff like that, because obviously we here at Cardcast we're casual tier scrubs, so I figured it would be the perfect opportunity to get kind of an inside view on a more competitive player's perspective. So um, I figured we'd just start the podcast off with like a question like, what's it like going to a regional slash YCS? Like how much different is it from going to like a locals?
The biggest difference is like the amount of people. Like you're still it's as far as regionals go, they are still like they're still just Swiss. Like there is no top cut at that. But
Right.
when you go to like a ARG, which is unsanctioned, they do have a top cut usually. Depends on how many people are still left and how big the ARG is. YCSs they always will have a day two with a top cut.
Right.
And then, but regionals, as far as they go, you're definitely going to run into a lot more competitive people, usually than your locals.
Would you say that I'm sure they are, but like how much more different do you think like the deck choices are from compared from like a YCS to like a competitive local?
A competitive locals, I feel there will be more like, and this is from like experience. Like I'll at the locals that we used to go to, you'd run into stuff like paleo that was built more so for the locals, so it felt like it was a lot stronger of a deck. And I think that's where the biggest difference is because when you go to like a regional or a YCS, you're gonna pick a deck that is good in general. Like you just want to play like a good deck, something like Salamangreat currently.
Right.
But at locals, you can tweak a deck to fit the locals. Like for example, back in Zodiac format, right? It was before Master Rule 4 and before Terratop got hit. I modified my Speedroid deck to just counter Zodiac and True Draco. So I always had that matchup ready, and it let me top my locals multiple times with Speedroids. While had I taken that deck to an event, I probably wouldn't have done as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I definitely understand like building a deck to counter other decks. Like back at the college where me and Aaron play, we had a subtle problem for a while where we had a couple of different Monarch players because like Monarchs were I don't know how for some reason they were just coming out of the woodworks at the cafe that we play at, and they were just being a real problem because most of us obviously it's 2019 we were playing very extra deck heavy decks. And they were playing like the Monarch Lockdown, where they had the field spell that would stop us from summoning from our extra decks and stuff like that. Um,
I
I
hate I hate those, by the way.
yeah,
I hate those so much.
I
Oh, you're
remember.
gonna hate the new one then, the Mystic Mine or whatever.
Oh yeah, I have not heard a lot about that deck yet, but
It was at the sneak peek where I was playing, and it wasn't fun for the other guy.
but I remember that me and the guys, I think this was before Aaron really joined our group. We were like, all right, I guess we're just gonna go back to like the old ways of countering monarchs, where we'd play Mask of Restrict, and a couple of us were even like because some of us didn't have Mask of Restrict, some of us started playing like Blast Held by Tribute. um, but I know it's not like the same as trying to counter like a meta deck because obviously and again we are casual players, so I imagine it being a very different scenario trying to counter a deck from the Yu-Gi-Oh meta.
All right, I got myself an own question here. So a lot of people, generally they talk about like I've seen some things about like cheaters at like these tournaments. Have you ever run into like a cheater before while on a tournament?
I ran in so at our locals we haven't. There's been not too many issues because everyone generally knows what they're doing. At the at the sneak peek, I did run into a dude who was like, I took a game off you when I 2-0'd him, which was pretty like scummy. It was just kind of like, no, that's not how it happened. But as far as like actual cheating goes, most people don't cheat you per se. They more so rule shark you. So like, I activated. I went to activate one of my cards. I think it was like Cyber Dragon Core. No, it was Hertz. I discarded Hertz for Nox's effects, and I triggered Hertz's effect in Grave, and I went to summon Veer, and they're like, "You missed timing on it," and it's like, "No, I can still respond," and they're like, "No, you missed timing on it," and I was like, "Whatever. I didn't want to have a judge called over, so I was like, whatever. I would just won't summon Veer, and then there was another time at the first Tulsa regional I went to, and my opponent had accidentally taken one of his opponent's cards from the last game, so he had an extra card in his deck, but he called the judge on himself and like basically scooped because he kept crashing into my stuff, basically just to get the game over with. And I felt bad for him, but I haven't had too much issue with cheaters, nor have I heard at our events that I've been to much about them.
Okay.
Have you had anybody who's like tried to take advantage of the Mind Crush ruling yet? Have you met anybody who's like tried to take advantage of the fact that they don't have to like give you that information?
Well, I'm an ABC player, so the fact I don't have to say I have a union in my hand to trigger C feels really good. But no, I haven't run into anyone who's done that yet. In fact, at the I mentioned it a lot already, but at the Tulsa Regional, Asian Persuasion was there, and I got to sit next to him for one of the games. And at one point, someone activates Mind Crush on him, and he looks at his hand, looks at his opponent, and just goes, "You know what? I'm just going to show you my whole hand like you're supposed to do." And so it's like, so I haven't seen anyone take too much advantage of it yet.
I know we like to make jokes about it in the cafe. Like someone will play. I'm trying to think. Like I think when we do like character decks, someone will play like Lullaby of Obedience because they're playing like Kaiba's deck. And they'll be like, all right, Yugi's deck, give me Slifer. And I'll look him dead in the eye. I won't even look at my deck. I'll go, nope. Yep. And like we just love to like mess with each other about like just memes like that. Like I think we actually have a rule whenever we're playing character decks, which is if you don't say what Pot of Greed does, then you have to forfeit the match.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because we live for memes.
Yeah, because we also don't know what Pot of Greed does, so you have to briefly explain it to everybody.
Oh yeah,
so they all understand.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Speaking of forbidden cards, what's your guys' like opinion on the new list?
It's oh, that's cool looking. It's kind of, to me it feels kind of like a waste of a list. I would have rather been in this format a little bit longer and kept Summon Sorceress or for a little bit longer and like dealt with Sky Striker Kagari a little bit longer and the Goliath plays a little bit longer and had a bigger list that's more format impacting and potentially could hit stuff like Endymion, stuff like, oh, I don't know, Mystic Mine, than a small little 7-card list that just buffed dinos and hurt everything else.
Right.
I don't think I've taken a look at the list recently, to be honest. But as long as if none of it affects the heroes that I run, then I think I'm okay.
Well, I mean, they kind of did in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
they made,
Super Poly.
Super Poly's it too. I can see. I feel like I might see heroes a little more often. Like not like Neos heroes like you play, Arron, but
yeah.
Like actual
Destiny Heroes just got a buff. I scooped up all that new stuff.
Dude,
that was nice.
Selena was freaking out. She was like, "I'm so mad I didn't get to go to the sneak peek."
I might have extras on the. Oh, I'm getting a box. I can send her my extra Destiny Hero stuff.
Yo, that would be awesome. I think I was talking to my friend. I was talking to our friend Jay, and I was like, "Dude, I don't know what I'm gonna." Cause like I think what is it, April? In like a month, it's Selena's birthday, and I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because usually what we'll do is we have like a joke where we'll kind of like we'll do something big because we know each other hates it. Like last year, she was like she surprised me at like a locals with a bunch of people, and we had like a big character deck tournament. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You didn't have to do this though, because we like to. That's just what we like to do. We like to mess with each other by having like kind of bigger things than just like, oh yeah, that's whatever. But this time I was like, man, what do we do? And I'm thinking what we might do, because it's not a surprise at all. Like we'll be like, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, no, you won't. I was talking to Jay, and Jay was on Amazon, and he was like, "Hey, Cole, do you know that they made Yubel an Ultimate Rare?" And I go, I don't think I don't think so. I don't think I've heard of that. It was like I think it's only like a Japanese print. And I saw that and I was like, dude, that'd be awesome. I should get that for Selena. And Jay went, or I could, and I went, hold on a minute. And then Jay just ordered it. So it's cool that and so I was like, dude, that would be like a perfect like birthday present for us. So what we do is we order a lot of things for each other in our little group. A lot of our trades, like we have one guy in our group who I don't want to call him out like in a negative way. Like it makes sense that he trades like this, but what he'll do is he'll trade things based purely on value.
Oh, see, you got to get used to that.
I know, yeah.
Exactly how like everyone up here, like just like at locals, even at casual, like I don't know. I've mentioned a few times, and I've actually started doing the videos on it, where we have our casual locals and we have a competitive locals every Saturday. But I thought it'd be boring to watch me play Cyber Dragons every Saturday, so I started doing the casual vlogs where I play like different decks.
Right.
I figured that'd be a little bit more interesting. Even there, like even the casual people who show up there will trade based around more so based on value. Like if the card, like even if they want the card, it's like that card's 50 cents, my card's $5. It's not there.
I will sometimes trade like that. Like if it's a card like impermanence, I'll be like, yes, I want something that is worth the impermanence, obviously. But if it's just something minor, like I don't know, if one of my friends wants like an Exodia piece off me, and they have like a card I want, I'll just be like, hey, you just want that for that? And they're like, of course, why not? Because like usually we'll just do card for card. And then if it's worth more to us personally, like if we have more of an emotional attachment to it, then we'll be like, no, sorry, none of that. But if it's a card like I think my friend wanted that Saryuja off me, and I was like, what do you have? And he was like, well, I have this alternative I'm not using anymore. And I was like, I'll take the alternative dragon off you.
Yeah, that's fair. Wait, no, it's not.
What do you mean? Well, he didn't.
Like a $10 difference.
Is there? I don't care.
Yeah.
Which one's more expensive now? I think it's the Saryuja, right?
Saryuja.
Yeah. I just didn't care. That's like just what we do. Like if it's that big of a difference, but we're not using it, it's just like who gives a damn?
Yeah. Actually, I traded my alternative spellbook cards.
Yeah. Well, I want to build a Chaos Max deck, but part of the reason why I play certain decks, like why I play Cyber Darks and Cyber Dragons, is because those are some of the only decks that show up at the cafe that I'm the only person who plays.
No, I completely understand that. When I was first getting back into the game, I felt more prideful in my deck if I was like the only one playing it, or like if I knew I was the only one in the group who had that deck.
Yeah.
So, which unfortunately leads you to building some pretty bad decks.
Yep. I think I still have my Exodia and my Nordic deck laying around somewhere.
But oh man, I ended up playing Pure Performer Pals, and I thought Pure Performer Pals were garbage because they were all commons. Little did I know it was one of the best decks of the format.
Yeah.
And they all got screwed by it.
I think Arron, you told me that you pulled an emergency, didn't you?
I did. I went to Walmart last night and I went and bought one of those like mystery boxes or whatever.
For real?
I was, like, I was searching around for like maybe 2 minutes, and I guess someone tried to hide it, and they like put it all the way in the back. And I don't know when they're gonna whoever hit it is gonna go back there, and it's not gonna be there. So that's unfortunate for them. But I found it, and I opened it in the car because I was like, I don't. Sometimes I don't like waiting to like get home to open this stuff, just because I'm excited about opening it. But you know, I did anyways, and I was like, whoa, what is this card? Like emergency. I forgot what it was called.
Cyber emergency.
Yeah, emergency cybers. And I was like, okay. I was reading it, and usually what I do now is I like to look up the value of each. Like if the card looks like it'll be worth something, I'll look it up to see how much it's worth, just to see if I make any money back in a way for what I bought. And so since that was the first card that I saw, I like looked it up, and like I found it was like a $30 card as a Kyo. I literally just made like a $3 profit from the box. So it was only like $27. So yeah,
those boxes are big or money sinks, man.
Yeah, and so I don't run. The way I work is I don't. If it doesn't work for my hero deck, the elemental heroes, I don't need it. I don't use it. I just kind of like put it in like in my little binder. And then, but I mean, it looked like it would be good for Cole. So I messaged him. I said, hey man, like I pulled this card. I don't know if you might need it or not. And he goes, yes, I need that card. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he does.
I think
I keep giving him crap because he says he doesn't need it, but
I started playing some proxies of it the other day, and it's pretty good. Okay, so here's exactly how the conversation went. It went from Arron. Went, hey, question. I pulled a card called Cyber Emergency. My response in all caps was yes, I need that.
And then I was like, okay. I said, okay, well, I guess you do. I was still typing out the message, like, I don't know if you need it or not, but I thought I'd let you know. And as I was still typing out, he goes, yes, I need it. And I go, okay, so I guess you need it. And he goes, yes, I'll give you anything. And I said, all right, cool, give me all your cards.
And I responded with yes, sir.
It's a little joke, but I mean, yeah, no. Like the way that I work with trades though is like because I could work on another deck, I just choose not to. I just don't know what to build next. Because I know a lot of people, they generally go with like Dark Magicians, and I'm just like, I mean, I haven't seen like over at the cafe, other than Cole. I'm like the only person that runs the Elemental Heroes, which again, there's like this. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but like when you're the only person that runs that deck, then you want to be the only person that runs that deck.
Right.
You kind of don't want to change into something else, because you know how it works. But I just don't know what other kind of deck to build. So I mean, at the moment, the way I work is if it doesn't work for my Elemental Hero deck, if it doesn't go in there, then I'll trade it for whatever, pretty much. So that's just it's a weird thing. People will probably get pissed off if they hear me say that. So if they're watching this, they go, dude, that's a stupid way to trade. Sorry.
We have one guy. I forgot. I think it's Dane. That was his name. And what he does is he plays Ancient Gears. I play Cyber Dragons with Fortress Dragon.
yeah. No,
So he stopped.
Any machine deck is a bad matchup for Cybers.
Yeah, he stopped playing because I kept using Fortress on him. But in my recent build, and Nod's probably going to call me out for this because it's a terrible idea. But again, in our area, it's actually not that bad of an idea to have done. I no longer play Fortress.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, there's no other machine decks. It's not, and I don't play Chizukiro anymore because oftentimes whenever I would use him, I would play him, and then there just wouldn't be. I wouldn't be able to get over him. I'd be like, all right, I just gave him a bigger monster.
Fuse him in a Fortress.
Well, yeah. But then I'd have like the 2,000 or the 3,000 Fortress, and then my opponent would get right over it the next turn. I feel like if
go
ahead.
I've considered cutting Fortress for Mega Fleet.
Yeah.
For a third Mega Fleet. So.
For a third, yeah.
Yeah, like no, I get it.
But like I just feel like because there are no other machine decks, and because I don't play Chizukiro, I just don't play him anymore. But again, I do play Fusion Cyber Dragons, and it works. It works for where I'm at. Powerbond Cyber Dragons. I think Arron knows this firsthand. Powerbond Cyber Dragons, where we play, is just kind of like I think it might be the best deck in the area.
The Cyber Dragons, yeah.
I
haven't. I mean, it's given me quite a challenge, and I beat it like maybe a few times. But as far as I've seen anybody else that goes up against Cole, they usually don't win. So
I had a really cool moment the other day.
That's how I played back in high school.
Yeah,
was with the Powerbond.
Do you?
It was obscene.
Do you guys remember that scene from GX where it was like Zane versus Jesse, but it was like the dark version of Jesse, and Zane just kept attacking with the Fortress Dragon and dealing damage, and he was just beating him down over and over again?
Yeah, back when Fortress could attack up to the amount of fusion materials it had.
Yeah. I actually got to do that with Rampage Dragon the other day. I was dueling Jay. I think he had it was Thunder End Dragon on the field. Because he was playing his Blue Eyes deck, and I summoned my Rampage Dragon, and I swung once, did X amount of damage, but then he banished Return of the Dragon Lords from his graveyard, and I was like, all right, whatever. Swing again. He banished another one, and I swung for that third time, and it put him down to 0. But it felt really good to just keep beating the crap out of a single monster like that. I don't know why. It just felt good.
All right, I got a question for Nod here. So check it out, man. I was hanging out with my friend last night up until today, and I mean he and me and my friend here, we actually got into Yu-Gi-Oh somewhere during last October or something like that. Because one of my other friends who I hadn't seen.
That was a bad time to get into it. I think that was Tier 0 Spiral format.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I had a friend who used to live over here where I live right now with around the same area as Cole, but he moved down to San Diego, and he disappeared for quite a while. I didn't hear anything from him. So when he came back on the radar, I guess he was telling me that he had gotten into Yu-Gi-Oh. And it was weird because I actually used to play Yu-Gi-Oh like a long time ago, which is why I run the Elemental Heroes, because that's the deck that I used to use It was when GX was still airing too. But the question I'm trying to get to is, so he got me and my buddy into it, but my buddy doesn't play as much, but he does want to get back into it. Somewhere probably around summer or something like that. So I want to know what kind of deck we should build for him. Do you have any suggestions?
Like like something beginner friendly.
Yeah.
ABCs are really good and they're really beginner friendly. They have a really high ceiling, but they're also good like to learn all the different mechanics because.
I say there's a bunch of different kinds of ABCs, isn't there? There's like synchro ABCs. There's normal ABCs.
You can't play synchro ABCs as well anymore because Summon Sorceress is gone.
Yeah.
And she was kind of the linchpin to do the Savage ABC combo.
That's right. Yeah.
Brilliant, and also Ancient Fairy Dragon is gone too. So.
Oh yeah.
But none of them are once per turn, so you don't really have to learn about once per turns. The only thing you really need to know is that if you don't have a union in hand, you can't resolve C or activate it in the first place. And then, other than that, just how links work, and that's it. That's legit all you need to know about the deck, because it's so simple.
I would say it's also a pretty budget deck, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's super cheap unless like the extra deck can get a little pricey, but they're reprinting the Nightmares and the Megaton, and the ABCs just got reprinted. Union Hanger was in there as well. So
Gold and Silver got reprinted.
Yeah, Gold and Silver were just in Dupo. Platinum Gadget just came out, so the deck has a big buff to it.
That's right.
It's pretty good. I mean, the only thing the only mandatory stuff for the extra deck is 3 ABC, like a Gear Giant X, a small Nightmare package of like the Phoenix and the Cerberus, a Clearfort Genius, and Platinum Gadget, and the only expensive card is Saryuja. But if you don't want to play Saryuja, then you don't have to. But he is really part of the deck. But you're only sinking like $30 into the main deck, so
yeah,
that's not too bad. Yeah, okay.
No, it's probably like $100 deck. It's not bad.
Yeah. It's too bad Cyber Dragons can't be budget like that.
Cyber Dragons are $220 last I checked. Like if you calculate it all up, that's not for max rarity either.
I mean, it pretty much is max rarity because I don't think you can get emergency in any other rarity than.
Well, no, I mean I'm talking like not ulti Sheen Dupes, not ulti overflows, not ulti overloads, ulti Cyber Dragons, like none of that. It's still like just like with like super rares or something, it's still like super expensive.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider Cyber Dragon's budget right now.
I got a couple other questions, so I figured I might as well crack one of these down. What's it? You are a judge, and I have oftentimes come to you for guidance, if you will, when at the cafe we'll have subtle problems. What's it like being a judge? Do you feel kind of powerful, or like you like?
No, I mean like okay, so like I judge for both for Chaos Games. It's our game store that we go to.
Right.
And it's being a judge isn't like anything special. You're just the guy that if something needs, it's usually a question of how are these two cards going to interact? How am I going to resolve this chain link? How would I chain link these? Can I respond to this with this? It's really just small stuff for the most part, and it's not like I'm over here like I know what's going on. If I say this, you can't do this. It's not like I'm doing that. Like no, but it's like. But like if I finish my game, because I still want to play in the tournament, so I still play in tournament. But if someone has a ruling question, I'll tell my opponent. I'll be like, "Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta go. I'm gonna go help these guys real quick." And I'll go help them, and it's really simple. It's just It's not so much that they don't know how to play the game, because a lot of them, like all of them do. Everyone who shows up usually does.
Yeah.
It's more so I don't know how this fully works in this situation.
Right.
And it's at that point that they have to ask someone who would or who has knowledge about other rulings and similar things, and that's where the judge comes in. So and so it's pretty easy to like. It's mostly just like knowing how stuff interacts and how stuff would resolve.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes from a lot of the stuff that I use personally. I read YGO Organization does a big, every time a set comes out, they release a big rulings update for the OCG, and I'll read through that just to like fresh myself up, or I'll watch like a video on like some new ruling stuff. Like the most recent one I watched was a simultaneous effects go on chain, which is pretty which is pretty interesting. We actually had a ruling dispute yesterday about how the simultaneous effects go on chain would resolve, because someone was playing Salamangrates and the other player was playing Trickstar. And so the way that simultaneous effects go on chain works, it says, so say I'm playing against Cole, and I'll go first, and let's say I activate a card that's mandatory. Like I'll normal summon Core and his mandatory effect activates. At that point, I have the because it's a mandatory effect, I have to resolve it, and then I have the opportunity to activate any other mandatory effects at the time. If I have no mandatory effects, I can activate optional effects at that time. But if I choose not to activate any of my optional effects, then my opponent does all his mandatory effects and then all his optional effects in response to my core activating. So what happened was the Salamangrate player activated he tried to do Balinx, and then he activated Balinx's effect, and he did not declare that he wanted to use Gazelle. So, which is something that you have to do the second Balinx comes out.
Right.
You have to declare that you have Gazelle in your hand, basically. And the Trickstar player chained Reincarnation, and the Salamangrate player was like, "Can I chain my Gazelle?" And it's like, no, you've given up. You should. It's like, no, that when it resolved that way, you needed to declare the Gazelle in hand when you sent the card, when the Balinx was link summoned. He's like, I don't get it. It's like, it's just the way that effects resolve now.
Right. I understood most of that. Yeah.
He couldn't summon Gazelle.
Yeah.
All right, I think I got it, but just in case, go over the
Too
entire
long didn't read. He couldn't summon Gazelle.
Yeah. So when you can still miss timing on mandatory effects. Is what you're saying. Like if you forget to activate a mandatory effect, it won't. It's not like. I'm having a hard time of understanding what's the difference between activating a mandatory effect and activating an optional effect.
Mandatory effects. So Cyber Dragon Core says, when this card is normal summoned, add one cyber spell or trap from your deck to your hand.
Right, like it doesn't say you can. It doesn't give you the
it doesn't
option
say
to
you
do
can.
It. Right.
If it says you can, then it's optional.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to tell you.
Okay. All right. Speaking of cyber dragons, Nod, I do owe you an apology. Emergency is actually a really good card.
Oh yeah, no.
I've been playing the proxies for about a week now, and they're pretty good. I think what happened was I misread the card when it came out. I thought it just said add a cyber dragon from your deck to your hand.
Oh, see, that's what everyone thinks. Everyone thinks it just searches Cyber Dragon. No,
but now that I know I can search Noxter, I'm like, I want this in my hand now.
You actually don't search Noxter with it most times.
Well, no, most of the time I'll have something. Usually whenever I use it for somehow.
Don't you play 3 Repair Plant too?
No, I only play 1 Repair Plant now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I had to make room. I actually don't even have room for a rev system. I'll probably take out maybe Monster Born for a rev system. I don't know.
No, you just look at my list. I actually have a list coming out next week. So
well, that's the thing.
I'll keep you updated.
There's a big difference between our deck lists. There are 3 spots in my deck list that probably will never change.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I still have the 3 power bonds. To be fair, there is probably one thing I could take out that a lot of people might be like, "That's a dumb card. You shouldn't play that anymore." That's the turtle.
Yeah, you could cut Turtle. You don't need him.
But the thing is, most of the time, if I get him in the graveyard, he usually saves me every duel.
Well, here's the thing: if you're power bonding, you're winning.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if I power bond, well, usually if I'm power bonding something big, then I should be winning. But usually if I just power bond Rampage, I'm probably still winning. But there is that chance that I'm just playing it to overpower something at the time. But yeah, I probably could take out Turtle for the ref system, because the ref system is the cheap one of the
system's really good too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, real quick. So right now I'm running off my Wi-Fi, but it's getting really glitchy, and I'm trying to understand what's going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disconnect from my Wi-Fi, and hopefully it doesn't shut off or cut me off of the thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and attempt this real quick.
All right, no worries. Even if you do so even if you do get kicked out of the call, don't feel bad that you can come right back.
Yeah. All right, let's talk trash about him.
All right, so Neospatians, garbage tier.
Dude, did you know you can summon Brave Neos with Miracle Fusion?
I did know that.
I didn't. I read Miracle Fusion today because I found a copy from, where is this from? Dupo?
Yeah, from
And
Dupo.
I was like, can this summon Brave Neos? Because it said he had to be fusion summoned. So I read the materials for Brave Neos, and I was like, this would be pretty cool.
I think I finally figured out the.
Hello?
I think
Howdy.
How there?
Okay.
I think I
So,
finally. Go ahead.
I switched off, and then like I heard you guys for like a split second, and then like I saw you guys talking, but I couldn't hear you. So, but is it still recording? Like, are we
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
We're Gucci.
Yeah. No.
All
Yeah.
right, awesome sauce.
As
Awesome
long as
sauce.
you don't, as long as you, Aaron, do not manage to somehow turn off my Discord, then it should, or turn off my OBS. It shouldn't.
Dude,
stop
I'm a
recording.
DDoS you right now.
Yeah, you better take that back, dude. I'll call
Nods
my
about to play
hacker.
system. Nods about to play system down. Take out all my machines.
Oddly enough, don't own any copies of that card.
Dude, I have a friend who sides that just for me.
Yeah, it's Cyberload.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a really odd combo. What's is the normal what are the normal ratios for Overload and Cyberload in your deck?
Overload is 2, Cyberload is 1.
See, so what I do is I play 3 Power Bond, obviously, but then I do 1 Overload, 1 Cyberload. And sometimes, because I think I play Cyberload because I still play Elton, because again, so at the cafe, I usually get dragged into a lot of like big 4-way duels.
Mm-hmm.
So Eltonin is like super good because he just clears everyone's board.
So what you're saying, Cole, is that you're a fan of 4-ways.
That is not a. That is.
All right, that's all the time we have for today, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
God.
I actually do my best to stay out of large multiple way duels as best I can.
All right.
Because
Yeah,
I find dealing
kind
with
of
those is because usually I'm the guy who has the best field, so I'm usually the guy that gets ganged up on.
Yeah.
And I don't like I get it, it's fair and all. I just don't like the idea of just getting beaten the shit out of before my next turn starts. I like having a chance.
Yeah, that makes sense because usually it really depends. I don't know. I like 4-way duels or like multiple way duels. It's just like it's kind of messed up because then like people will start creating teams and they're like
Yep.
it's like, oh, truce. I'm like, all right, dude, come on. Now.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that's garbage.
Yeah, they do
like,
that.
it's
Yeah,
free for all.
sometimes.
What's even more garbage is when that player summons Red Eye's Flare Metal and he just burns everyone to death on their...
Yeah, that's exactly what Jay does every single time.
Yeah.
Jay summons Flare Metal, or it'll either be Jay or Jesus will summon Flare Metal because Jesus plays Dark Magicians, and Jay plays Red Eyes. So yeah, they'll usually do exactly that, and then I'll just get burned every time I try to do something, and I'm just like, all right, guys.
Yeah, and it just burns everyone for 500, and it's like, this is trash.
Was Summon Sork banned because of the Flare Metal thing?
Summon Sork was not banned because of Flare Metal in particular. Summon Sork was banned just because she's like a super powerful card.
Yeah, I figured.
Like in general.
I actually had that deck, like a deck designed to summon, like to do the Flare Metal loop.
Yeah.
I am not an FDK player at all, but I did like playing it as like if my opponent just gets too annoying, I just start playing it. So I
was
go ahead.
I was 2 steps from figuring out the Gelen Duo Summon Sork Flare Metal combo in ABCs. I almost figured it out.
That would have been
Like,
oof. I played it in
used
D-Box.
the Valkyrie Union.
Oh yeah, yep. That's exactly what I did. The one that the one that like searches fairies, right?
You use it to synchro into a 7, and then the 7 searches you an equip spell.
That's right.
Like you synchro into Powerful Dragon, and Powerful Dragon gets you something, and then you equip something, and I forget exactly how I almost did it, but that was the concept of it. And then like you'd overlay Power Tool Dragon with something else and get Flare Metal. It was a mess, but it almost worked.
I used to call the deck Roy Mustang Magicians because that's pretty much what the deck was. It was like that scene from Full Metal Alchemist where Roy Mustang just keeps snapping and like burning lust to death. Like that's exactly what playing Flare Metal with that combo was just like. You just burning your opponent to death every single time. And it was really satisfying to pull it off online, especially when like your opponent didn't have like cards that they could respond with, so it wouldn't like pause in between effect damage or effects activating. It would just go burn, effect, burn, effect, burn. It was just a really satisfying sound to hear, like
You know what the really sad part about decks like that, where it is like a super heavy combo FTK
right
deck. The sad part about that is a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, that's just a helmet deck. You're just playing. It's just this. It's not. It takes no skill."
I play
it took someone with skill had to come up with the idea of all these stupid cards interacting together
Yeah.
to make this one burn FTK. That had to have taken skill. Just because someone's copy it, and it has to take at least a little bit of skill to copy it and do
Yeah.
it consistently.
That's
so
why I played it in Dark Magicians, but I played it as a sub strategy.
when it comes to people in the Yu-Gi-Oh community,
Oh yeah. We have one guy at the cafe. I think it's Louis. He plays. I'm not sure what the exact designation for his deck is, but there's a lot of odd eyes cards. There's a lot of like, or not odd eyes, but there's a lot of like extra deck dragons, and there's a lot of really annoying pendulum crap going on. And it's a very annoying deck to deal with.
Yeah, because I remember his turn when I dueled against him. His turn lasted for like a solid 7 minutes, which is kind of a long time actually.
Yeah.
When you think about it, like 7 minutes, dude.
Like, I'm lucky if a turn with Cyber Dragons lasts 2.
I don't get it, man.
I've-
I don't get it.
I've never understood how you can comprehend, like, being able to play a deck that has turns that go that long. Like, how...
the answer is you go back to February 2017 and you buy 3 DDD structure decks and you sit in a camper until 4 a.m. practicing DDDs. and then later on, 2 years later, you pick up Red Eyes Guard Dragons. That's how you do it.
You know what? No, I just answered my question. That was a...
There you go.
That's a pretty...
Just be a former DDD player.
That's a pretty reasonable answer, actually.
They were like, to me, they were the original 10-minute turn.
Yeah. So I do have a question for you, Nod. This is like the last. This is one of the last questions I've written down here.
Okay.
What do you think the major prior, like, other than monetary, like other than monetarily, what do you think the big difference between competitive play and casual play is?
Okay, first of all, I want to tell you that there is no difference between you can be a competitive player on a budget. Especially
right. Well, yeah.
Nowadays, now it's easier than ever.
I was talking like back about like when there was like the decks that were just like, oh, it's like a $300 deck, shit like that.
Last format, you couldn't. Like Thunder Dragon, Sky Striker.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the third deck? I forget.
Wasn't it some Danger FTK? I think. Was it? No.
No, it wasn't Trickstar. But there was the format that we just got out of. It was
right.
It was like Sky Striker, Danger, and Salamangreat.
Yeah.
No, we didn't just get out of that. We just came into it.
Yeah.
Anyways. But when it comes to budget, like you can be a casual player with that has a max rarity Mermail deck,
right?
You know, like max rarity spell books, whatever. Anyway, the biggest differences between a competitive player and a casual player is a casual player will sit with his friends and he will play a game. He won't. A competitive player will want to win a game.
Right.
And I'm not saying casual players don't want to win necessarily, but I think competitive players, they play more so. Like when I go to an event, I'm like, I want to do well. You know, like even at sneak peeks or even at our small little comp locals that we got going on, I still get, I sit down. And I'm like, I want to win. It's only like really when I'm at the casual locals that I'm just like, because it's free play. I'm like, there's nothing at stake. I'll just play garbage.
Yeah, that's a pretty good answer.
Yeah, but it's just like that's the main difference is that casuals want to they play to play, and competitive players more so play because they want to do well and they want to show that they're the best.
Right. That makes sense.
I think that's the main difference. And again, like I said, there are both of them can play on a budget. Like I used to be. I'm still a budget competitive player. I had the I'm still playing Cyber Dragons because I had the deck back when the Saiho stuff came out. So,
right.
And then same with the Invoked Mech Knights. I got all that on a budget. And then casual players, they can have max rarity Mermails or whatever. It really just comes down to, am I playing because I want to play or am I playing because I want to be the best?
Right. It's a pretty good answer. Yeah, that's a... I don't know what I was expecting the answer to be. In all honesty, that's.
Did you expect him to have like a really bad answer, like a general answer?
No, I was
like,
no.
Casual players suck and competitive players are
good.
good.
Well, the big difference is if you suck, you're casual.
I mean, that's what most people seem to think anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm not super competitive. I don't see myself as like overtly competitive. I have 45 decks. Do you know how many of those are competitive? Two, I think. I think it's two.
He thinks it's 2. He doesn't even know.
It might only be one.
What's the one?
Cyber Dragon.
Oh,
Obviously.
okay, cool. I wasn't.
Wait,
too
hang
sure.
on. We have Salamangreats and Endymion now. It might be 3. It may be 3.
It might be 3. I was considering going out and buying the Endymion deck, but like after playing it online, I just kind of didn't. I just wasn't into it.
Oh, I love it.
Speaking of Endymions, I still need to send you the.
Pure Endymion. It's fun.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
Sorry
go ahead. No, sorry. No, go ahead. I think you started before I did.
No, I was just saying that like the pure Endymion deck that I'm playing, it's like it has a mythical beast engine in it and plays like magical abductor. It's not like 50 negates. It's more so I have a monster negate and a spell negate.
Right.
I like that. It's fun.
Speaking of your mythical thing, I finally found free time to send it to you. It is on its way.
All right, I was wondering when those were coming
Yeah,
out because
I
I
got
kept
you.
checking the mail.
Yeah, they are on their way now. I sent them yesterday.
All right.
Or not yesterday, on Friday, because I don't think my post office was open on Saturday for some reason, or over the weekend. But if you were to, okay, I got a funny question for you. This one isn't written down, but I just thought of this one a couple minutes ago. In 3 words, describe FTKers.
Oh, give me a second.
That's
Even 3 words, but that's not what I want.
Even just a sentence. If you just want to do a sentence, that's cool too. Personally for me, it's a 3-word sentence.
Okay, hang on. Before I answer, do you consider those turns where it's like I set like where it's like a pseudo FTK where it basically just like rips out your hand and you start the game, like the old Gumblar quote unquote FTK where it just rips out your hand and you just can't play? Do you consider that an FTK?
No, like life points 0 before you even get to play.
Like Mystic Mind Burn?
Like you start the duel, your opponent goes off, and then it's over. You didn't even get to play.
You're just the shittiest player ever. Like, do you enjoy? Is this like I remember I was playing against someone and they had a burn deck. I think it was at locals, and they like started doing the burn combo, and I just looked at them. Like I put my hand down, and I looked at him. I was like, "Is this what gets you off at night? Like, is this like what you like to do to people?
They're super into it,
Is this
dude.
why you play the game?" And he looked at me. He's like, "You got something wrong with it?" I was like, "I mean, I got something wrong with investing into a game that I don't get to play. Apparently."
My 3-word sentence is go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
Stop.
Like, okay, here's
Stop.
The thing,
Just don't
here's
play
the thing
FTK.
with FTK.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to pop off. Here's the thing with FTK players. If you are so like sad that you buy cards that literally just stop the opponent from playing the game, if you are that salty of a player that you start becoming an FTK player, don't play the game. Take a freaking break.
Yeah.
We invest into this game as well. Like
Right.
the opponent sitting across from you also put money into the game. And why even what's even the point, like especially when they're a new player. Like there was this kid who used to come to our locals, and he went to the competitive locals and he started getting sad and stuff because he wasn't doing very well, and it was because people were playing like FTK stuff and just overtly insane things. And
Right,
so it's
that's
just like, so it scares off new players. So it's like, why would you do this to someone who also invested in the game and just wants to play the game? Like, for real.
The entire time Nod was talking, I was slowly panning Firewall Dragon into the screen.
Dude, no, Firewall isn't the issue. It was Gumblar, okay?
Yeah.
Firewall wasn't. Cannon Soldier was the FTK. Like, Firewall was just the another issue, but I feel like Gumblar FTK was worse.
That's right.
I feel like that would kind of almost make almost like a third category of players. So like you have competitive, casual, and then just salty players that just do shit like that. I mean, that's kind of stupid though, because like it almost would take no skill to like not even buy the cards, but then even play them after that. Like it's dumb. I know what you mean by that. Like, you know, like everybody wants to play, everyone wants to have a good time. Some people want to win for like competitive reasons, but like if you literally have to just like you just get so mad to where the last thing you have to resort to is just making sure like you kill your opponent on the first game so that way they can't play and only you win. Like that does become I feel like that become very boring actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like I remember there's this guy at our locals. He's a nice guy and all, because he always tries to work out a trade with you, like no matter what.
Right.
But he was playing Gem Knight FTK for the longest time, and so Gem Knight FTK loses to 2 hand traps. Like if you hand trap them twice, they lose.
Right.
And I opened Ash and Valor both games. So he's like, I didn't get an FTK you. I was like, yeah, I wanted to actually play. I wasn't gonna let you FTK me.
Jay plays Empty Jar. Like he still plays out. He just finished building his Empty Jar deck, and it's Empty Jar in 2019. It doesn't work well enough to FTK you, but the deck works very well. It actually empties your deck pretty fast.
Yeah.
Which is impressive because he can only play one Morphing Jar.
Well, was he able to recycle it?
Yes, he recycles it very well. The part that I'm impressed with is how fast he's like able to get it into his hand. Like, I didn't think there were that many ways to search Morphing Jar until he started like.
Dude, you just play 15 dangers and search it and just draw into it.
Yeah. Did you think dangers were gonna get hit on the list?
I thought that Tsukunoko and Nessie, not Tsukunoko, Jackalope and Nessie might.
Yeah. Do you think
my money was on those 2?
Do you think that we're gonna get? Do you think that this was an emergency list, or do you think it's a real list?
I think this is a real list. That like if we were gonna get an emergency list, we would have gotten it sooner.
Right.
They took their time and they released this they released it the week before the sneak peek. If I'm right.
I think so. Yes.
And then it takes effect tomorrow, currently at the time of recording, which is a little intriguing. I have to update a bunch of decks tonight, so that way I don't have to do it tonight. But I think that like a lot of the hits were really good, like rank up Magic Launch. Azathoth FTK is really, really stupid, and it should never have happened.
Right.
And I think that any salty Phantom Knight players who think that rank up Magic Launch should be unbanned are idiots. Like, real talk, if you don't understand why the rank up was banned, then don't play Phantom Knights. Like,
we're looking at you, Corbin.
Yeah. I don't know who you are, but we're looking at you. Stop being salty about I knew you had a Phantom Knight player. I was waiting for it.
Yep. We have a Phantom Knight. I think the guys keep telling me he has other decks. I've never seen him play anything other than Phantom Knights.
Well, he can be upset about Dark Requiem all he wants. That card was bad anyways. But yeah, rank up Magic Launch getting hit, that's really good. The Dark Matter getting banned was really good because my buddy showed me an FTK. Like he played some proxies in his deck.
It was
there was
Gandora, right?
with the Ib. It uses like Ib and Gandora.
Yeah,
X. Showed me that 2 weeks before it appeared at the PPG tournament. So people already knew what it was. It was just before it just was kept on the DL.
Go ahead.
It was nuts.
Was it one of those things where Gandora is the problem? Is it one of those things?
No, dark matter was the problem.
Okay, because I heard
just
someone.
Gandora did a lot of the was like the big heavy lifter.
Right.
But the dark matter was the enabler.
Right.
Also, dark matter was abused in Thunder Dragons, Guard Dragons, and it summoned Goliath easily. So.
Oh yeah, that's why it was in Blue Eyes, huh? Because it could
Yeah.
summon the Goliath and the
Yep. You'd dump Arcbrave and Goliath and summon back Goliath.
That's right.
So it was a problem, but so I'm glad it's gone because it also it disables a bunch of FTKs. But Goliath is still playable as a lockdown card. You just have to sacrifice the Heradic Link to do it.
That's right. Yeah. Is there anything you think should have been in dual power? This is like a question for both of you guys. Like they could just be like nostalgic cards or competitive cards that you think should have been in dual power, or what do you like? Give me like 3 cards you guys think should have been in dual power.
Dual power, I feel like they should have. I feel like, and I'm biased on this one. I still feel like they should have put some tokens in there for each characters. But if we're talking about like, actual cards, dude,
And hear the question.
Oh, you didn't hear the question?
Oh, the question was, what are 3 cards you think should have been in dual power? Like they don't have to be competitive; they could be just basic nostalgia cards. But what 3 cards do you think should have been in dual power?
Cyber Dragon Veer as an ultra rare.
I'm down.
I really want
that.
Yep,
I'm down.
Yeah. I just really wanted Hollow Cyber Dragon Veer. I didn't care about anything else. They put Noxter and Platinum Gadget in that set. I was happy. Oh man. So like reprint wise,
It could be reprints, yeah.
they nailed a lot of the good stuff that I wanted to reprint.
Except for short printing and permanence.
They didn't. It's okay. First of all, impermanence is not short printed in that set.
Oh, is it not?
It is not. It is a regional distribution thing.
Okay.
Yeah, much. That's the way short print, quote unquote, short prints have been working lately. From what I've noticed is that because my buddy went to Walmart, bought 8 boxes of dual power, and pulled 7 impermanences.
Damn.
Yeah. So to say that impermanence is short print is a false.
Okay.
Accusation.
What's that?
Oh no, he said false, and he
yeah.
sounded like I said accusation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's a bunch of stuff that they could have reprinted in dual power. I don't think that anything necessarily needed to be in there. I like that the gadgets were in it. I like that. Like I said, I do think Veer should have been in there, but I get why they didn't, because he's Saiho and he's probably a super rare in the Megatins this year.
Oh yeah.
Which would be very nice, because the Megatins are basically just a big. Okay, after this, can we talk about the Megatins and how big of a mistake they are now?
Are you one of those? Do you not like Megatins?
Okay, let's talk about this. I love Megatins. Let's talk about the new one that was announced.
Let's get Arron and my opinion on what should have been in dual power, and then we'll shit on the Megatins.
Go for it.
So Arron, what cards do you think should have been in dual power?
Okay, so I'm kind of like on the fence about this one, but I'm going to say it anyways. I feel like they should have reprinted Air Neos, definitely for sure.
That
one's very, very hard to get, very expensive. The reason why I'm on the fence, like I've said before, is because Air Neos is as rare as it is, gives it its value, but at the same time, a lot of people would probably want to run that one, and so because of how hard it is to get it, it's kind of whack of how they don't have it reprinted. So that one probably should have been reprinted. I'm gonna say also for some other reprints, maybe I don't know. It's maybe Neos Knight also, because I don't know a lot of things that weren't in there. I don't know. I just feel like they could have had more support for I guess maybe just the heroes in general. I know Destiny Heroes got their stuff, but there's also the Vision Heroes. I'm not sure how many of those have supports or what kind of cards they have. I don't really look into a lot of other things. And I know the Destiny Heroes did get their support with the Dark Neo Storm. But to be honest, I think the only card that I know of so far would just be Air Neos, to be honest with you. I think that one would be kind of a nice steal for some other people, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Hang on, I want to follow up with Arron. They actually do have a bunch of more Vision Heroes coming out, and they're in Heroes, Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge is when they're coming out, if I'm right.
Do you think
I could be wrong?
Is that going to be a main set, or I don't know the scheduling or release dates for how they split up certain different kinds of sets, because I know I've said things in the past and you've been like, no, because it's a main set or whatever, so it wouldn't have reprints. It would just be new stuff.
Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge is a reprint set, but it's also an import.
Okay, so there are chances that we could get
it has Boral Sword Dragon in it along with Widow Anchor.
Ooh.
Not Widow Anchor, Sky Striker Engage. Sorry.
I laugh at people who say that Needle Fiber is going to get printed in English.
Summon Sorceress is banned. He could.
Yeah, he could.
But I doubt.
As for my stuff for dual power, I think I may have said this on the podcast before. I think I'm with Arron. There should have been more. I feel like every boss monster that got printed got enough support. I don't think there was a lot of decode talker stuff in there. I know there was one. There was one card, and I don't think there was
decode construction or something like that.
Yeah.
Deconstruction or something like that. But I mean, it's kind of a lame card, to be honest.
I definitely think Air Neos. Yeah, Air Neos is a good one. I think there's a card that they played in season 4 of GX. I think it was called Future Vision, which was you discarded a polymerization, and then you discarded as many Neospatians from your hand as possible, I think it was then you sent as many Neospatians from your graveyard back into your deck as possible, and then a Neos, and then you summon any monster from your extra deck that lists any of those monsters as material.
Yeah,
Obviously, that's a terrible idea for a card, obviously, but
that's.
it is one of those cards from the anime that like never got printed, and I just
Oh, I
what's
got one. I
okay. Go
got
ahead.
one.
Go ahead.
Neo Signal, because it's kind of
Yeah,
like because
yeah,
they have like the Hero Signal, but like for
Never
Neo
got
Space,
printed.
yeah. Never got. It's the
that should have been that should be printed.
yeah. I have a black and white proxy of that card because I wanted to play it in Jaden's deck, but then I just decided, nah, we shouldn't play any
Heroes
proxies in
already
our.
have their hero signal
Yeah.
coming out soon.
Who's that? Who's that? The Vision Heroes or?
Fruition. And it's
Oh.
a trap card that does the same thing as like hero signal, but for vision heroes.
Oh, that's cool. Um, for my third card that should have been in dual power, maybe Dark Magician Girl.
Oh yeah, because we do get the Toon Dark Magician Girl.
Yeah,
but...
we got two Dark Magician
Oh.
Girl.
or Palladium Oracle Mahad, because he was only in the movie pack, wasn't he?
Yo, Alternative Dragon.
Yeah, Alternative Dragon. Well, I mean,
Odds
but
in the
he
movie
wasn't-
pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alternative Dragon, but he's not like one of like the Oh, he wasn't one of the protagonists. He was
Yeah.
that would be like for the antagonist.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Palladium Oracle Mahad probably should have gotten reprinted also.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a common.
Well, there were no. It was a full foil set. This
Oh
was
yeah, that's right. Common. I'm stupid. But yeah, Palladium, because it seemed like they had a lot of movie cards in there. They had Chaos Max. Yeah, Chaos Max was in there. They could have put all
Was he?
in there.
I
Yeah,
don't- I don't think
Chaos
he-
Max was in there.
I don't think he was. Was he?
Chaos Max is in dual power. Yeah.
Chaos Max is in dual power.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so I guess they could have put alternative. They could have put Palladium.
Yeah,
Man.
alternative would have been nice. That would have been nice.
Freaking
Oh,
stupid.
hang on.
What's
you know
that?
what else I would have wanted in dual power?
What's that?
All those stupid high-priced ultra rares from the legendary duelist sets, like Ancient Gear Fusion,
Yep.
Urgent Schedule,
Yep.
just all that stuff. Red Eyes Baby Dragon or Red Eyes Gear Freed, one of those two.
Why are all of the relinquished cards so expensive? I know they're not like super expensive, but they're pricier.
Well, none of the Linkos cards are seeing competitive play now, are they? And they're all short print ultra rares from a set that no one opened because competitive players only open and sell product that has competitive cards in it.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's why all the legendary duelist cards are so expensive.
That makes sense. Nod, you want to talk shit on the Megatons?
No one
Yeah.
talk shit on the new Megatons.
All right, let's go. Let's hear it.
All right, so in the past, the Megatons have usually been like the last set of last duel season, and then the first 3 sets of the new dueling season.
Oh,
or
are
of the
you-
current duel season?
Are you gonna
season.
talk about how Savage Strike isn't in it?
Yes.
Okay. I figured.
Okay, because here's the thing: who really wanted Vampire, Fur Hire, and Sky Striker reprints? Like, realistically, the only things from that set that they are gonna like reprint is like Widow Anchor and Ray, and Ray is gonna be a short print secret rare. But guess what? They've already broken the mold with Megatons before. They put the original 3 Demise cards in the last Megaton. So why couldn't they just be like, hey, we're also printing Widow Anchor as an ultra rare, Ray as a secret rare, and I don't know, Hercules base as a ultra rare or something stupid like that. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Keep ranting. I'm not done with this. I'm doing something.
Okay.
I'm trying to do something funny, and I need you to keep ranting for it.
Yeah, and also like they could put Beat in the Megaton, which Beat and Mayhem, but as far as the vampire stuff goes, who cares? The vampire stuff is already super cheap. The Fur Hires only have a couple of expensive cards, which is every single deck in the existence always has a couple of expensive cards, and then it's like you gave up reprinting Savage Strike, which actually was the most competitive set out of Saiho, Soul Fusion. Oh, what was the other one? Oh, Savage Strike and Dark Neostorm. Savage Strike is the best one out of it, and instead of reprinting Savage Strike, you print Dark Saviors, which, yes, is a competitive side set, but it's just that. It's just a side set.
I put little angry eyebrows on your channel logo.
Thank you, you should.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the tins were exciting. They were very exciting when I thought Pot of Extravagance was in it. And now that I know that my Phantasmes are going to be like $200.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay. Like it just kind of sucks. because I was gonna sell the Phantasmes, but but now I have to hold on to them until Savage Strike gets reprinted.
Nod, I told you about my theory, right?
Right.
That I thought they were gonna. I think they're gonna. I think that there's a chance they're gonna put Herakti in the tin.
Yeah, I remember that. I've been telling people that, and it's a very believable theory.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
her
not the
art is by Kazuki, and she's from the original anime. She
Right.
fit with the God cards.
I'm not the only person. I'm not the first person to come up with that, right? Like I'm sure people have talked about that before I mentioned it, right?
I mean, I didn't hear it beforehand. I always assumed that it was going to be Dark Magician and Blue Eyes, and that's what everyone else I talked to about it said.
Yeah. It took me until halfway through I think last week's podcast before I realized that the promo packs are gonna be randomized.
Oh yeah, def.
I had no
I don't like that either.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody will, but
It's just gonna because what promos aren't supposed to be short prints.
yeah.
Like we're gonna have short print promos now, and that's garbage.
Yeah.
Gotta love the way they market their stuff, huh? The way they print this stuff. They say, hey, you know what? We're gonna just do this because why not?
Dude, there's gonna be like 12-year-olds with a gambling problem because of Konami.
Yeah. I already have a gambling problem thanks to Konami.
That's why I can't buy what's it called? Scratch tickets.
I'm really lucky. I bet you guys right now, if I were to go buy like three packs of like Savage Strike, I could probably pull a Phantasme out of one of them. No problem.
I see. You know what? Nod's gonna be like the chances are so low. I'm not gonna lie. If Arron went to go do it, I would not be surprised. Arron has. Arron
dude,
has uncanny luck.
Nod. Do you want to hear my luck with Arneos? Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about Arneos. Let me tell you why I really like that card. Check this out. So
Okay.
when I was recreating my hero deck, when I first started back in October, I wanted to get back into heroes, but then obviously I'm like, oh, there's a lot of extra stuff that's come out since like 2007, right? So I'm like, okay, it's been a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of rebuild my deck. So I found a lot of my old cards, and then I also bought some new stuff like the Legendary Collection too. And I was like, okay, let me just put heroes in my deck because last I remember, like that's all you had to do back in like 2007 was just run your favorite cards. And then like, because at the time it wasn't really competitive, like it was just kind of like, hey, it's a trading card game type of deal. So I just kind of put all the heroes in there. And then I was like, well, this isn't working. I need to obviously rebuild my deck. So then when Savage Strike came out, I started rebuilding my deck with like the Neo stuff. And I noticed that I needed Air Neos. So I said, okay, well, Air Neos is like $160 card, $70 if you get like the ultra rare, not the ultimate rare. So I was like, okay. So I went to go buy a few packs, hopefully of Strike of Neos. Those are like expensive as shit too. So I bought one pack of Strike of Neos, $15 on eBay, and the one pack that I bought had a ultra rare Air Neos in it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and so I've got crazy luck, so I could probably. I have no problem. I have no issues with buying stuff from Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not gambling. I just know that I'm gonna get something good out of it. I feel like
That's actually not the example I was thinking of. I was gonna use the example of he was dueling our buddy Jesus.
Oh,
and
you can tell about this too.
Yeah, and he was like I think he had like an empty field, and he went, all right, this next card. He like had Jesus cut and shuffle his deck like right before he went. All right, this top card is Neos Fusion. He drew it, and he drew right into into a Neos Fusion. Like I know I don't want to sound like super corny and shit like that, but like Arron has the heart of the cards.
Dude,
Yeah,
I used to be able to call Alistair on top of my deck.
Yeah.
It's, like back when I played Invoked, I'd be like, you better hope I don't top deck Alistair. My opponent would look at me, he'd be like, you're not gonna get Alistair. I'd flip it, and it'd be either Terraforming, Magical Meltdown, or Alistair.
Yeah.
Well, it's like different with me. Like I'll actually call out what card I'm gonna draw, and I just happen to draw it. It's this really weird thing that I have. Like even when we did the character duels.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
When we did the character duels, I was trying to resummon Neos Wise Man, but the only way I could have done that was Miracle Contact. So I drew. I was getting like really disgusting spell cards for some reason. So I got Pot of Greed, and then I played it, and then I got Miracle Contact, and I think Super Polymerization or something like that. I don't know what I got. I know I got Miracle Contact, which is what I needed, and so I was able to successfully resummon Neos Wise Man, and I think I got second place for that character duel. But I don't know. I have some really weird, crazy luck when it comes down to these cards, dude. It's super weird.
All comes down to how the deck's built. Like you can turbo through like anything with certain decks just
Yeah.
because like how consistent they can be. I mean, what is it? Salamangrates are disgustingly consistent right now. Which
Yeah. I mean, they hit
I-
the debug. I doubt the debug really hindered much. Though.
Yeah, they hit debug and then they release a Cyberse Rhoda.
God.
Yeah, so it did nothing except now that instead of having 6 copies of Rhoda, they have 4. Yeah. I don't like Salamangrates too much. I'm a little bit more okay with them because my actually play against them now. I was just upset at my Cyber Dragon build because I thought it was really good against Salamangrates, but now it's more so good against it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Oof.
Well, that's
I still think the deck is awful.
yeah, Salamangreats are. I mean, I do like that Konami is making all these like really budget competitive decks. Like it allows more people to like join the competitive area, but there is still that like that ceiling that certain casual players can't reach. It doesn't matter like what deck they're playing.
Get a job. It's so easy.
But that's an hour and 5 minutes. I think we've done a pretty good job. We've definitely exceeded expectations for how long this podcast was going to be. So, thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. If you liked it, hit the playlist in the upper left-hand corner to check out our other episodes of DCG's DCG Cardcast. Hit the button in the upper. I think I'm going to put it in the upper right-hand corner to subscribe to our channel on the spot, and hit the button right below it to subscribe to Invoked 101. They're really awesome. If you're like not into our content because it's like super casual character deck stuff and you want actual decks you can actually play, go down there, check them out. They're awesome. I think Nod was probably the first actual like big Yugi, or not bigger Yugi tuber that I actually like got in contact with.
Lamau.
Yeah, Lamau. And go into the description, check out our Discord and our Patreon if you want to help support us. Go into the description or go into the comment section. Tell us what you guys want to see next, and hit the notification bell. Get notified next time we upload. This has been Cole.
Arron, what's up?
And me.
Yeah, and Nod.
And him.
And Nod. Peace out, guys.
See you guys later.